More than 5 weeks before his murder trial, we're getting a closer look at the planned defense for Patrick Frazee. He's a Florissant man accused of killing his then-fiancée, Kelsey Barrett, in November of last year.
His attorneys missed a deadline to blame the murder solely on an alternate suspect, but their intended defense and witnesses shared this morning caused some confusion. Our Sam Kramer has covered this case from the very beginning. He's in studio clearing things up for us.
Yeah, so instead of the alternate suspect defense, Frazee's lawyers will seek the general denial defense that requires the state prove Frazee is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. This not only broadens their options during the trial, but according to a local attorney, the defense will focus on discrediting Crystal Kenny's testimony because of her role in that crime. Instead of pinning Kelsey Barrett's murder on someone else and proving an alternate suspect carried out the crime from start to finish, Patrick Frazee's attorneys plan to poke holes in the state's case. An easier defense, if you will, with hopes of establishing reasonable doubt at his trial.
You're going to keep that scope as wide as you can, but we can also in this document read into it that where they're really putting a lot of their efforts in is going to be attacking the prosecution's star witness, Crystal Lee.
Attorney Stephen Longo says the general denial defense gives Frazee more options to achieve reasonable doubt. Part of that plan, outlined in the endorsed defense and witnesses released today, includes the idea that Crystal Kenny either committed more of the crime than she let on or lied about it. Longo says her plea deal for evidence tampering, despite helping clean up the crime scene and not telling police, could become a target.
They want to tear down her credibility as much as possible. And what better way to do that than say she's more involved in this crime than she's going to say, and that gives her the motivation to fabricate what the defendant, Patrick Frazee, did.
As part of her plea deal, Kenny is required to testify against Frazee. Her story to police, the only description on what happened, saying he burned Barrett's body on his property after beating her with a baseball bat. Law enforcement still have not found Barrett's remains, meaning Kenny's testimony plays a big role before a jury. I reached out to the public defender's office for comment, which does have a policy barring employees from talking to the press on active cases. Frazee's trial begins on October 28th. Always watching out for you, Southern Colorado. Sam Kramer, News 5.